Hi, can you hear me? 1 second. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you.
There it
Getting
goes.
better. How you've been?
Good. Just really busy. Just people because I report on so many different subjects. Trying to keep up with all of them at one time could be really exhausting. Plus, I keep telling people in my videos, if you guys hear noise, my apologies. They're replacing my roof. I've had the same roof now since 1985. You know what I mean? So it's
But
way past.
how far are you with this? Is it far with this roof?
No, with the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're almost done.
Okay.
They're almost done. On one of my buildings, then I have to go to the next one. I have 2 buildings on my property. So it's getting close to rainy season. And so
I hope.
yeah. Well, this weekend we're supposed to have rain, so the guys are up there and they're laughing. They go, "Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get it done." Yeah, you know dang well you're gonna get it done. So
You gotta do it. Exactly. I am so happy to talk to you because so much has been happening, and especially yesterday. And I was like, perfect timing to talk to Pimpy.
Okay.
So I have 8 questions, the infinity number. First question is about the the tweet from yesterday from Trump about the stimulus and stopping the negotiations, and about, as he said, after the election, when he's reelected, that it will be another huge like a stimulus bill that he will send. I watched your video. I watched pretty much all your videos, like 95% I watch. And you've mentioned yesterday about this, because my first sense when I saw it was I was a little disappointed, because I'm expecting that, like I'm on unemployment. But then I felt like there is something much, much better coming. Okay. Like I knew it. So I want to hear from you because I trust your judgment very much.
Well, again, for Trump to make such a bold announcement, knowing that people in America need this type of assistance, I tell people, look, calm down. There's no way in heck he would come out and make such a bold statement without having some type of backup plan. So what have we seen since then? One, he just threw everything back now on the Democrats right now, today.
Yeah.
He said, I'll pass a bill, a stimulus bill, but only on the bill, I want the money for the people. That's it, nothing else, because that's what the Democrats do. This is what they do in politics. They try to sneak a little other stuff on there. That's what they try to do, because they know that the government's in this desperate situation, and they don't want, if they want to make the other party look bad, they sneak what they call poison pills. Okay? So Trump threw it back in her face today. So it's real simple. Now the American people, to you want your money? I will pass a bill today. I will sign it today. If they pass a bill, only stimulus money. None of that other stuff that everybody wants on there. None of this helping Democrats in their, broke cities. I don't want to be doing that, helping out unified unions and helping out, illegal aliens. Now they want the stimulus checks to go to prisoners. He's like, no. You guys want, he goes, I'm telling America right now. So now it's not up to me no more, which is a real bold move. It's up to the Democrats. All they have to do is send me a clean bill. One bill, just giving out the money only. I don't want to see all that other crap on there. But I really do find it hard to believe that in addition to that, Trump doesn't have some other plan, knowing what's going on. He has to. One thing about I could appreciate about his presidency is he's always seemed to have been 5 steps ahead of everybody else. So he's already played this out in his head how it was going to work. So truthfully, as much as the media is going to try to spin this, and the Democrats are kind of going to try to spin this, there's no doubt that's where us, the digital soldiers, come in. We say, no, look what Trump's saying. Trump is telling us now. He'll sign the bill today. If you pass one, where only the money is going out to the people. Man, that puts a lot of pressure on the Democrats.
To interrupt you, Pimpy, but
yeah.
Are we now talking about the 1,200 individually, or that's what he's talking about right now, or he's talking that plus the weekly?
No, I think what he was talking about was just the 1,200 for now. I think Trump really does have something. Next week, I think it is, by the way, people have heard me talk about this. Is this coming up? What day is it? Dang, I don't even know what day it is.
7th.
The 7th. So we're about a week away from the IMF meeting, less than a week.
My next question is this. Perfect. Okay. So this is connected, right? You think his decision and the IMF meeting? Do you think it's connected?
It might be. Yeah, I think so. But I do think he would sign a bill if it was just for the money alone. He would do it. But I do think there's something bigger going on. And I've been listening to a lot of gold and silver bugs, like big time right now. And everybody, but it's not just them. So the global currency reset are paying attention to what's happening. Gold and silver bugs are paying attention to what's happening. Obviously, Nicera lovers paying attention to what's happening. So it's not just one thing. It's many. The Iraqi dinar holders, the Vietnam dong holders, all of these different areas are focusing on what's about to happen here, because it's really going to tell us a lot about what's getting ready to happen. We're going to have a much more clear picture, definitely.
My first reaction to it was, this is very much not like him, because with this tweet, because he was the one, even from the hospital, saying, pushing on closing, finalizing this deal, right? This conversation about the stimulus. So this is someone who really wanted people to have this extra support, and now all of a sudden he's doing this. I'm like, there is something behind it.
Yeah. Then the art of the deal. Remember his book, he talks about that. Don't always be willing to walk away from a deal until you get what you want. Trump doesn't want all the extra stuff on a bill.
And he's a major negotiator, right? He's negotiating.
Yes. So, again, and it puts it on there. I mean, there's already people, I'm hearing people talk about, look, they need the money, but they're not pointing fingers at Trump. Trump just came out today. What did he say? I'll pass a bill if it's only for the money. I don't want all that other stuff on. So it's up to Democrats now. It's on them.
But if this doesn't happen, Pimpy, if no one will get this 1,200, let's just hypothetically imagine. What is your feeling about this major stimulus that he mentioned? You know how I felt about this? And I don't use this term anymore so much, the Nasara term, but this would be kind of like something kind of related to it, really, because he could roll out really big support, let's say 10,000, or I'm just giving a number now, really.
Yeah.
How you feel? Could it be? What do you think?
Well, one thing I noticed, you're doing the same thing I am. I'm trying to get people out of the habit of labeling everything Nasara Jassara.
Right.
So whether they officially call it Nasara Jassara, that shouldn't matter. What you should do is look on the list and see if these things are being accomplished. And I've done videos saying, look, they are being accomplished. So not only is it possible, but it's actually happening.
Yes.
Now, are they going to just jump right out and call it Nasara Jassara? I don't know. But does that really matter? To me, what matters the most is, are the things on the list being done? That's way more important than whatever label you want to give it. So, again, and then plus we have the Great Reset, and I've been doing the Great Reset versus Nasara Jassara, which tends to spin people around. Now, as far as tackling this debt, I think a lot of people, especially when I did that video showing you that, I was shocked to see the power that the United States has over the markets, not just here in the United States, but around the world. They literally have a law that gives them the power to manipulate markets.
Yes.
Everywhere.
You posted, I remember, from 1934, this regulation that the government can manipulate the value of the precious metals, right?
Yeah. Well, the one I'm talking about takes place during the Bretton Woods, which would allow the governments to manipulate markets around the world in order to stabilize their currency once they became the official reserve currency. So when I said not only are they able to manipulate our markets, but other markets, wow, what the hell kind of power does the United States have? Now you know why a lot of other countries probably want to get away from the US dollar as a reserve dollar. But having said that, one of the markets that they have the ability to control, obviously, is gold and silver. And the person that actually has the power to do that is Stephen Mnuchin. Bucci, it's what I call him.
I like when you say it. I'm like, this is like
Bucci.
A Muppet show, you know, like those two who comment.
Oh, yeah, the two old man on the top there.
Bucci.
Yeah. So he has so we don't necessarily have to go into a gold standard for them to be revalued. Okay. So that's we want to go into the gold standard, but technically all they have to do is say, hey, due to all the manipulation that's been happening around the world, we think gold and silver should be revalued to closer to its real value. And whether they do it in increments or all at once,
yes,
it's going to be huge.
Yes.
I mean, a video that I'm getting ready to release in a little bit is this guy, Life Academy. It's Life Growth Academy. I like his. Their videos a little bit older. But
you just hit him like I think yesterday when you were.
Yeah, I said I was going to review 2 of his videos. I did a second one today because he's making some great points. He actually has a lot of great videos, and I put the link in the description for people to go see. But this one was in April. He released this video trying to make a case for $10,000 an ounce for gold, but he actually made a case for much higher than that. So this is based on a 33% gold backing of where we are with the debt now, versus 52% versus 100%. The 100% is not on there, and I'm thinking, man, no. Now he's like, no, this 10,000 an ounce is not enough. So what does that mean for precious metals holders? Well, if gold and silver are revalued, then obviously you just came into a windfall of money. You know what I mean? I got people out there that go, oh, Pimpy, I can't do it. But I got other ones that go, this lady put a post and I covered her in the Q&A. She said, look, you don't get it. I'm on disability. I have fixed income. I barely have enough to get by. And even I found a way to go out and get 50 ounces of silver. So you know what I mean? I was like, there you go.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But I said, look, even at 50, and the other guy was making this case for $750 an ounce. I said, so she's got now $37,000 worth of silver. How much do you think that's going to help her? There's some people that go, well, that's not a whole lot. Well, if you don't have that 37,000, it's a lot. You know what I mean? That can help her in case of emergency. But is silver really going to be at $750? I don't think so.
This is amazing because you literally, without me asking you, just keep on going from my list. Like
me and you.
Like this. like I see you, like Avatar. Okay. Pimpy. So this was the thing. I don't really know what is this IMS meeting is about, but when you mention in the video, like the minimum, which again, you just said, it might not be the case, the minimum value for silver, 700 or 750, and then you said for ounce, and then 1,500 for gold, which I don't think will be the case, really.
No, not. It wouldn't be 1,500 for gold. That won't be right.
The minimum.
Because if we're gonna.
The minimum.
No, it won't be. No, even for the minimum. If you're going to get silver at 750, then gold is going to be, with the ratio, would be 10,500. That's what it would be. You can't. Gold is not going to get that close, and silver won't get that close to gold. It'll be in the worst case scenario.
I know what you
15-to-1 ratio. In other words, okay. So what the IMF is, once every 5 years, they come through and they look at what they call their SDR basket. It's been there since 1949, I think it is. Somewhere not 69, 49, I don't know. One of those years, but anyways, 69. So they created this SDR basket. The SDR is really dangerous. They take a handful of currencies based on the position of where their economy is and the strength of the dollar, and they come out with an exchange rate of SDR rate only. So because the US dollar is in there and they are the national or the international reserve dollar, it gives them a lot more power. You know what I mean? So all this is now it's time to revalue. It's been 5 years. They need to discuss what's going on. So there has been a lot of talk. Now, I don't know how realistic this is about removing. Either they remove us or Trump removes us as the international reserve dollar. But if he does that, you got to understand what that does to our dollar. It drops its value. You know, experts are saying somewhere between 40 to 60% of its value would be gone, you know, on an international scene. Of course, if you own foreign currencies, that's good because they go up about the amount that the US dollar goes down. But I can't imagine Trump making that initiative or Trump allowing the IMF to make that kind of bold move without already having some backup plan. And the backup plan to me is the revaluing of gold and silver, because he can't officially go into the gold standard without passing it in Congress.
I understand.
But he can revalue.
I understand this now, which this gives me a vision. Either he will revalue the value of gold and silver, still keeping the dollar as it is, let's say.
Yep.
Or he will go into the gold standard.
Well, we're going to need Congress for that. And so that's why it's important that people understand that you just can't go in and vote just Trump. You have to vote Trump, then you have to put in the Republican senators, and then you have to put in your Republican Congress people, you know, the people for the House.
Yep.
Trump has to have full control. Once he gets that control, he'll put us in the gold standard. They'll pass Judy Sheldon to get in. There's actually two people. The other guy's name is Whitman. Whitman is a second person. So there's not just one. There's two people actually being nominated to get into the Federal Reserve. If they both get in, or both of them are huge supporters of the gold standard, you would see policy change. And so that's what we want. It's time to go back to sound money. Either we're going to go there on our own, or the world is going to force us into it. You see Russia and China already pushing to make that happen. And they're not the only ones. There's other countries that want to do this. So one way or another, they want to get away from the reserve dollar and go back into sound money, which is what they need to do.
So Pimpy, thank you so much. Drink some water, drink. So I want to ask you this.
I talk all day long. It's like,
well, I know. Yeah. It's like in your videos, I always hear the ice cubes. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know people like, Pimpy, I always hear ice. Sorry, you guys, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Between the interviews and radio shows and doing videos, it's like blah, blah, blah all day long.
But I appreciate you so much, and everyone who's listening.
No problem.
So I still pay attention to the debt clock. And in the last 2 weeks, I think, almost 2 weeks, because I'm losing sense of time, as we all do.
Yeah.
I've noticed, Pimpy, there was like silver ounce was around 3,000, over 3,000. And now and the same with gold. The gold was over 30,000 per ounce on the clock. And now it's going constantly down every single day. So I want to ask you, do you think this is kind of like trying to really measure with the true value? That's why it's going down the clock?
No, it's, in my opinion and many others, it is a reflection of the actual value. Let me look real quick, because what that means then is the gold and silver supply that we have in relations to our debt. So let's take a look really quick here.
Yeah, because it's going down. Now it's never going up.
It went down, but not a lot right now. So silver's at $3,917 per ounce. Gold at $29,795, because it used to be $31,000 for gold.
Yes.
And just over $4,000. So is it going down? Yeah, in relations to, it depends. There's different algorithms. In relations to the paper debt, in relations to national debt, in relations to our international debt bonds. You know what I mean? So it just depends. A lot of people, what it's in relations to, we're not sure. But that's okay. Even so, if it goes down a little, that should be good for us. That means some type of debt is going down somewhere in a big way for it to go down like that. And most likely it's going to be the bonds that we have outstanding to a lot of other countries. Is most likely where that's going.
You know how I was looking at this? Like my silver is going down in value.
No. You
No.
haven't lost any value and you haven't gained any value until you sold it. So if you spend $26 an ounce and it shoots up to 3,000, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, you got a gain, not a loss. All right.
So I will post the link below also, because for the first-time buyers, whoever wants to buy in United States, I would even say, I was thinking about this, even those who live outside United States and they want to buy gold and silver from Money Metals Exchange, and they are first-time buyers, and they put Pimpy in the code, they will get half an ounce of silver free. And I was thinking, even if someone lives outside, they can actually store it with this company and then can just keep it there, right?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, and
I didn't think about that. So the problem is there's some laws that prohibit the shipping of gold between countries.
No shipping, just keep it
stored there. So that's a good idea. So for those of you who don't know, Money Metals Exchange is a company that we work with. And so for first-time buyers, if they buy more than $100 of precious metals, they can use promo code PIMPY, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. But you bring them, so let me look into that, because dang, man, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm Polish, so I grew up like this. When we had communism, we had to like figure out,
So if they keep their money there in a dispensary, so they could borrow against it, they could sell it back to them, so they can actually hold it there without it breaking any laws and shipping it. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm going to have to look into that. That's a great idea.
Brainstorming, Pimpy.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
This morning, this came to me. Download it.
No, but here's the funny thing, because I don't know what country it is, and I want to say Canada for some reason, but I might be wrong. They're saying you don't get it. So silver is this amount, plus they put the premiums on there. I go, yeah, he goes, plus we have a VAT tax. And I was like, what is that? He goes, no, it jacks the value, the cost per ounce way up there. And I'm like, oh, man, that's terrible.
In Canada?
I think it's Canada. I might be wrong, maybe France or one of those countries. But they pay a VAT tax on top of it. And that's terrible. Terrible. They're paying, somewhere between $10, $12, $15 more than what the spot market is. So, yeah, I understand that. But, my response then would be, it's still, you'll be paying way less than where the value is going to actually go. Exactly. But, it makes it harder for poor people to get involved.
And now when the silver went down and gold still went down to what it was, it kind of, but silver actually went quite some down now. This is really good time to purchase. And also, that's my next question, Pimpy. You've mentioned something, and I really want to understand this. There will be a moment when you recommend to take some silver and buy with the silver gold. Can you explain this to me? When is this moment? What is this about, really?
So what happens is you want to pay attention to the silver to gold ratio. So if I'm looking at it like right now, I don't know if it's on here. Let's see here. You got dollar, silver. So what I'm talking about is this. The silver to gold ratio is this. How many ounces of silver, based on the current value, do I have to trade to get 1 ounce of gold based on the current value? And I think as it is right now, it's like 80 or 81 ounces of silver in order for you to trade and get 1 ounce of gold. I might be wrong, but it's somewhere along those lines. What I'm saying to people is this. As time goes on and that ratio closes in, it gets lower, you start getting around 20 to 1 or 15 to 1. Then you want to make that you do take 15 of your ounces of silver, take 20 ounces of your silver, and then trade it across for the gold. And the reason for that is silver's value goes up and down like a spastic child on sugar. You know what I mean? It's very volatile, goes up really quick, it comes down. Where gold is very slow climbing up and slow climbing down. But gold is always a very stable investment, a stable commodity versus silver. Silver outperforms gold both ways, going up in value and coming down. So when you start getting up there really high in value, for those people who want to transfer their wealth to the family, you know what I mean? If you want to build, I did a video showing it that the Rothschilds under one of their properties has a vault. For 261 years, they've been adding gold to that. So it's not like one individual going, this is mine, all mine. No, this is all about family. So the family contributes to the vaults for generation and generation, and their generation has become as wealthy and as powerful as they are because this wealth has been transferred from one generation to the next, on top of all the other conniving things that they do. So that's what families should start thinking. That's the thing that's not taught in school. It should be.
Right.
So I got sidetracked, but what I'm trying to say is this:
Yes,
when
it's
the
correct.
ratio between gold and silver gets closer, and you want to trade some of your silver for gold so you can accumulate it. Me, I have a lot of silver, a lot of silver. I mean, like thousands of ounces.
Good for you, Pimpy.
Huh?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
for
I
you.
have a lot of ounces of gold too, but when the ratio gets closer, 20 to 1, 15 to 1.
Okay, so do you think we wait until 50 to 1 or 20 to 1? What is like the,
At the very minimum, let's wait till we get to 20 to 1, because if they do a revaluation,
okay,
they're going to push that. They're going to make sure that that ratio is about 15 to 1. Once that happens, then you can easily go into like a coin dealership, because when they do their when they sell their ounces of whether it's gold and silver, they put a little bit of a markup on there. So if it's 15 to 1 ratio, they're willing to just trade you straight across the table 15 ounces for 1 ounce of gold, because they can get more money off the ounces of silver because there's more of those coins versus just the 1 ounce of the gold coin. So they'll trade you straight across. I've done it actually recently. I've traded in some of my silver to my local guy, but I did it on a much lower ratio. I mean, 70 to 1 is what we're talking about. And I said, no, I'll do it at 65 to 1, which is still too high. But I was trying to give the 2 coins out as a gift to people. And that's what I did. And so he still did it. He didn't even hesitate. He's like, I'll do it. Yeah. So he did it really quick.
So Pimpy, do you, and I know you love silver very much. Do you think, can you advise to those who are listening, is it still better to buy silver? Or if someone has like really lots of money, would you say gold or silver?
Well, it depends on how much money you have. If you have a lot, then you want to split it 80-20, 80% silver, 20% gold, only because silver does outperform gold. So you do want to own some silver, especially for what we're about to go through. You see what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you have that, because it will outperform it. You will gain more value with silver than you will gold. So if you have enough money to do so, 20% of your money into gold, 80% into silver. Now, most people don't have that kind of money. Silver, it's the poor man's gold. It will outperform gold. So we know a crash is coming. We know. So we're about to go on another major bull run with precious metals. It started in 2016. A lot of people are, projecting us to go out 2026, 2030, 2034. I've seen all kinds of different, scenarios, which what that means is it's going to continue to gradually climb up. Although some of us think it's going to go up in pretty big increments from time to time as we get through whatever this is. You know what I mean? We need to go into a new monetary system. This old one is dead. As a matter of fact, we're already in the process of a global currency reset. It is happening. I know for a fact that a group of people, I'm just not sure where it came from, where they're coming from, but I'm pretty sure it's the US, for the past 18 months has been going from country to country to evaluate their assets. Well, why are you doing that? Unless you know a currency reset is coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're doing this. And it makes sense for us to move into an asset-backed currency. Sound money is what we want. Okay?
So this revaluation, Pimpy, of the foreign currency, okay? Do you think this might actually be something you are really almost daily right now doing those updates on Iraq? Almost daily when I check you. There is a lot of political moves in a good way, as much as I understand, because you are so in it, like you understand those dynamics there. It looks like it's just a matter of time, really, if it goes the way it's going for the revaluation. So do you have a feeling that watching what you're watching, this might actually happen before the end of this year? How are you feeling?
Yeah, okay. So usually I don't like doing dates and rates, but if people are asking me what my personal vibe is on this,
yes,
Yeah, it makes sense. We know they have now the reform papers. Okay, the Ministry of Finance has already told us in there the discussion of the rate change is in the papers. Now, what I tell people to do is just slow down. It's exciting news, but we don't know what that means. We don't know. It could be 1 cent for all we know. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying we need to stay grounded. And we also saw later on in an article, the IMF telling Iraq you need to decrease your exchange rate, which is good for us. But then again, to kind of pee in everybody's Wheaties, we have this economist. He does this about every 3 or 6 months. He puts out this letter saying, no, we need to devalue the dinar. So I want people to understand something. There's a difference between decreasing the exchange rate, that's good for people who hold the dinar, versus devaluing the value of the dinar. That's not good for us. So the IMF is saying decrease the exchange rate. The reform papers in there, the ministry said that is discussion about the exchange rate. They don't have enough purchasing power. And if they're trying to rebuild the country, if you have to keep pumping out dollars just so you can buy materials, this is going to cause more inflation. So the smart thing is to increase your purchasing power so that they can start rebuilding their country. Now, what that is, to what level, I don't know. I mean, I've seen minutes from the CBI Bank talking about somewhere between $1.13, $1.34 is what they were talking about, which is the sweet spot. But also, you know, there's cases to be made for it to be restored back to the $3.22 rate, because right now, Iraq is not as involved with international trading as they could be. So therefore, a higher rate won't affect them as much. That would give them increased purchasing power, which would allow them to import all the things they need to start rebuilding their country, and then later down the line, revalue it again.
You know, thank you so much. When you were saying this, you know what came to me? Because I remember when I was living in Poland, and we had huge, how you call it? Like the money was worthless completely. Inflation,
Mm-hmm.
huge. Like you were going
super inflation.
Super. We were going with millions of Polish currencies, zloty, in like almost like a suitcase to buy like basic things. And then they changed the money. And when you just said this 3 point something, now the value of Polish zloty to dollar is, it oscillates between 3.6 to 4 for $1. So this, what you're saying, this might be very same thing
exchange rate
in Poland years ago. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the exchange rate. So right now it's for every $1 US, you get 1,190 dinars. That's what the exchange rate is.
Yes.
So if they decrease that, I'm just gonna use this as a round number. It might piss people off, but I'm trying to make a point. So instead of getting $1,190 for every $1, it might be you get, you know, they might say, well, maybe for every $1 US, now you only get 1,000 dinars. So you still benefit from that. You still gain money, but that's not what people are looking for. What they're looking for is the change in which the dinar is more valuable than the US dollar.
Correct.
And that is when you say, hey, for every 1 dinar, I get back $3 US dollars. That's what they're looking for. But for now, we don't know what that is. There's nothing wrong with being excited about the news that we're hearing. There's so many rumors in dinar world that it drives me insane. I'm saying, you know, this is why I don't do dates and rates. I see people talk about as much as $15. I'm like, no, stop. That's just ridiculous. It really is. But I noticed, was about 3 or 4 months ago, Iraq purchased and added to their holdings of gold. So again, even they know. Plus, I told you I'm aware of some oil that has been discovered and not announced yet in Iraq. I'd asked for permission to talk about it, but it has been discovered. Now they're talking about, oh, we're going to go out in the desert and explore these fields and see if we find oil, which makes me laugh because I know they already found it. So if we're going to an asset-backed currency in oil, the new oil, plus all the gold they have in the Tigris River that they know is there, it's the second largest deposit ever found. Wow. And nobody is mining it. So they have the resources to
Yeah.
really support a change in the rate. They just have to prove that they have it.
Oh my God, Pimpy, and we are living in those times, like literally witnessing all of this. It's unbelievable. When you think of
Yeah.
it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is historical time right now.
Okay, so when it comes to gold and silver, I tell people, I did this video of a guy from 2014 trying to show them the graphs every time we revalue gold and silver, how they put it up to the money supply. But even he said, you don't get it. We're at a threshold right now. And this is in 2014. He said, we're at a threshold. This is unique. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for people who hold precious metals. Never in the history of gold and silver have we been at this doorstep when now the money supply and the value of gold and silver, the gap is so big that not only will you be able to preserve your wealth with precious metals, you're actually going to gain wealth with precious metals, and not like a little bit, but a lot. That's why for the longest time, even before I had YouTube and I showed people posts that I had since like August of 2018, I was like, buy gold and silver, buy. Now is the time. That's when silver is like $11 an ounce. You know what I mean? Imagine that. And so, I'm telling people buy. And
But
so,
since when you were collecting, because you collect since you were a child, or when did it started collecting for you?
well, I collect, people say, well, you have coin collectors, but for coin collectors, see, we have different kind of categories for it. So you have a coin collector is somebody who just wants to fill in the years on one of these little pamphlets that you hold, or these little folders that you hold, and it's cool, and you get to have them. So those are coin collectors. Then we have what's called stackers. Stackers only want the rounds or the bars for the metal value,
That's me.
not the collective.
That's me.
Yeah. So, and then you have what's called numismatic collectors. That's me. These are people who want the coins in a pristine condition. They're very rare. We don't want them just for the precious metal values, but we also want them for the collectability value. So you look for the best looking, best condition coins. So I have an immaculate size coin collection, but I was aware of course, the value of gold and silver, because the coins that I collect have gold and silver in them. So I was aware of it. So, there was a time where I would stack some gold, some silver, not a lot. I was more into my collecting, making sure my sets were complete. But as time went on, I said, I had to refocus from where I was. And around 2018, I was like, wait a minute here. I don't have enough gold and silver. I need to change. So I stopped. Not 100%, if I'm being honest. I just spent $700 on a 5-ounce silver coin. There's only 199 of them made in the world. So I will, from time to time, go back to collecting my coins. But about 96% of my money that I have goes straight to stacking, just collecting the metallic for the metallic value in gold and silver. So yeah, but every now and then I will sneak in and get a coin.
But those that no one can touch besides you.
Yeah.
You will never sell, right? Ever.
No, I mean, my goal, obviously, well, there will be a time where I'll sell a little, because I make enough money to live very comfortably. But I want to, I retired when I was 50, and then went back to work when I started to try to remodel my house, because I didn't realize how fast you go through the money. And then I realized I don't think I quite have enough to retire. So then I went back to work, and then went right back into precious metals, doing these types of things. And so, but again, I'm at this point now where I do spend now, I stopped working, I spend most of my time on YouTube because my channel is monetized.
And I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you do. Because
yeah, well, I make enough money to cover what I was getting at work. So my bills are paid, but also gives me enough time to focus and research and do more of what I need to do to make sure that me and my family are protected.
Yeah.
With our investments, you know what I mean?
And you're helping people so much. And it's so important. How many people, they don't do like you do now, and there's so much wisdom and experience, and they could share with people. You know what I mean? They
do. There's a lot of people that will reach out to me, tell me they've had family meetings, they have adult kids, and they're like, listen, I don't want you to say anything, I just want you to listen. and they'll play my videos, you know what I mean? And they'll sit down at the dinner table, and literally there's a lot of people that told me to do this. And so they'll sit down at the dinner table and
Oh,
sorry.
it's okay.
That's just
I just don't see your face.
hold on. So yeah, there's somebody calling me on WhatsApp is what it is from overseas. So yeah, I'm just that happens and it makes my screen erase. So they tell me that they have these discussions. I had this lady, you know, she called up. She's like, "Look, I'm a big fan. My husband's not listening to me. I think we should move into gold and silver. I'm just gonna be sneaky." I was like, "No, don't do that. Don't. You have to have the talk." I said, "What you should do is compromise." So he's nervous for a reason, and I understand that. And you're excited for a reason, and I understand that.
Can you hear me?
That's him again. Sorry about it.
No, it's okay.
They're from overseas. They're trying to call me. So I said compromise. And sure enough, they came up to compromise is what they did. So she's happy. She got her precious metals. He's happy that all the monies are not in the precious metals. And so, you know, you got to compromise. So, and then I've had a family sit down with their young kids. I tell everybody a story about Monica and her 3 kids. I love it. And I got skeet, in my little skeeter. And, you know, I haven't talked to them in a little while, but she said, "Man, this has been amazing." So the kids are so excited about collecting aluminum cans and selling lemonade and doing yard sales to get money to purchase into precious metals that they have, you know, she uses it now as a tool. She says, "Okay, before we do that, you got to do your homework first." So, you know, they rush and they start doing their homework, doing what they need to do. They get the chores done. She says, "I love it," because before you can never get them to cooperate. And then they go out and they get the cans and they collect them and then they take them. And then I heard they had about 34 ounces that they've already earned. And this is kids doing this. They're earning it. The mother's involved and she's teaching them about investing and she's teaching them about savings. You know, before they want a video game, she said, "They haven't even asked me for a video game in months. They want to go buy gold, silver."
Exactly. It's shaping their character and revaluing importance of certain things in such a young age. So important. Like it's shaping them really for the future. Because who knows, in years from now, they might be like really, really successful, you know, business owners with the mindset like this. It's amazing.
Well, here's the thing. So let's just say it revalues today at $700 for silver. And let's say they never add to the collection no more because they can't collect enough aluminum cans to add anymore. But now, instead of having, you know, maybe a couple $100 for video games, well, guess what? Now you got $21,000 to go buy video games. So, you know what I mean?
I don't think it will happen with them.
It won't happen that way. But, you know, I think I'm sure the mother will use it towards things like clothes, video games, you know, whatever they've earned it. They've worked hard. They now understand it. She said they love holding their coins. I go, yeah, I know. I'm one of those people. As long as I've been doing this for so many years, to this day, I still get excited when I get silver coins. More than gold, believe it or not. It's funny. I love gold. I'm like, yeah. But when silver comes, something about that feeling in your hand, man, it feels like, you know, wealth. It feels like value. That's what it feels like.
They got the silver buck. Pimpy,
here's something that people don't know about, that people are, you could go out to yard sales and you'd be surprised how many people are selling silverware really cheap. And you can look on the back and it'll say like 0.925 silver. And they'll sell entire sets that weigh ounces for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. They'll just get rid of it.
Wow.
I mean, I got a bunch of silverware over here that I need to go and exchange. I'll sell it to my local dealer for the value of silver per ounce and then swap it for ounce coins. But I run into them all the time. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, like the flea markets too. Like the old flea markets.
Just teapots, trays of real silver.
Right.
You know, they'll sell for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. And the thing's probably worth, you know, in silver value, maybe $100. Coins. I got people coin hunting. They send me pictures all the time. They're going through 50-cent pieces, show me all the silver that they found. I love it. I told you, in my bank, in one of my videos, I do this all the time. My bank people know me. But I was standing in line. I heard this guy going, yeah, I used to collect coins, and I don't collect them anymore, so I'm turning my coin set. So this is not the first time. So the cashiers, they see me standing in line, and they can look behind me, and they're like, yeah, we got it. I'm like, hold it. I'm going to go there when I see it. I want to see what it is. So when I got on there, this guy had written on it, the quarters. He said 1964 and 1963, along with a bunch of other ones. And I said, just in case, let me see that roll. She goes, you can't open it on the counter. I said, I want to buy all the rolls. She goes, so I figured. I got home, the 63 and 64s were entire coin. So I paid $20 for each roll. Yep. And they're all 100% silver, and they're worth about $115 each. So it cost me $40 to get about $230 worth of silver. That happens sometimes.
You know, I'm not surprised. You know why? Because this is the law of the universe. You are vibrating silver.
Yeah, I need to do a lot more.
You are attracting silver wherever you go, because your frequency has the frequency of silver.
Hey, there you go. Put it into the universe. That's how you do it. I love it.
Pimpy, 2 more questions I have for you. I'm so grateful for your time. One is related to buying a house, and it's a little bit selfish personal question, but even for the investment, when do you think, I want to know your opinion, when do you think will be the best time to buy the house? I personally feel, with whatever is happening, that in next year, the prices will drop down drastically. I feel like maybe from May, it might start, I would say July, August, September. How you feel? Next year?
Yeah, by the end of the first quarter of next year, a lot of people are going to be in a lot of problems with the houses. The banks are going to end up having to take a lot of ownerships of homes on their books that they don't want. This means you have an opportunity to buy those houses for like 20% of the value. There's people who know how to do this. So if people just wait.
Do you think only 20, sorry to interrupt you because I'm excited, you know, I want my own house. Do you think 20%, not more, drop in price? And do you think by
Oh no, I think it's going to drop 40, 60% in value. Okay. But what I'm saying is you could purchase it for about 20% of its actual value if what I think is going to happen happens. But in the worst case scenario, look at, you're still going to pay, in the worst case, 50% cheaper for a house that you want. So if you see a house for $300,000 that you love, just wait till April. The odds are, depending on what's going on financially for people, you could probably pick it up for about $150,000. If all you got to do is put down 10%, that's $15,000 you can put on a home and just sit in it. And now you got your dream home for half the price that you were going to pay for.
I feel like you, but exactly the same I feel. But I also would like to know your thoughts. If they go into this jubilee, right? And there will be no more credit, Pimpy, and not everyone is saving in silver and gold, then how someone can really put a percentage of the value on the house if there is no more mortgage existing?
No, so the way they used to do it back in the olden days, there wasn't credit. There was an evaluation of your income, debt to income ratio. And so what happened was they would tell you what you qualify. You qualify for a house worth X amount of dollars. And you say, okay, and you go out shopping for a house in that range. And then you find one you like. And so then, you know, you'd put your down payment out, or I don't remember reading that they ever put a down payment. I might be wrong, but you put whatever your down payment is, which is really small, but you don't pay interest on the house. You pay a bank fee. It's a one-time small fee for the loan. And so, but they're not going to put you in a house that you can't afford.
So that means that employment was what was determining the...
It was the key factor, your debt ratio, period. So keep in mind, no credit cards, good, get rid of it. Yes. Go back to layaways. Layaways were great, even for people who couldn't afford things. Poor people can't really afford credit cards, but they can afford layaways. Layaways, there's no interest. All you do is it's Walmart here where I live started layaways again. And it's awesome. So it's not, you don't use a credit card. So if you're buying $300 worth of stuff, they say, okay, here's the deal. We don't want to stretch this out too long, but here's what you do. You need to give us $100 a month for 3 months. I'm just making that up, but to give you an example, $100 a month for 3 months and you get all 300 of your stuff. It's better that way. It's way better. And it does help the poor. There's no credit checking. There's no nothing.
Right.
It's based on your ability
to pay. Interest rate on this or no?
No.
Oh.
No. It's whatever your cost is.
Oh, you're right. This might be the case with homes.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it is. I wouldn't call it. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. It's like a layaway. You know what I mean? There's no interest on it. Banks didn't used to charge interest. That changed later on. You would just pay a bank fee, and you got away from the interest. See, these interests, what ends up happening is whether you're buying a house or a car, so if you buy a house for $100,000, by the time you get done paying it off with the interest, we just spend like $300,000. People don't even think about that.
Yes, I know.
See what I mean?
I've been there.
We need to get rid of that. Get rid of it. Get rid of credit cards, period. If you don't have the money to pay for something, then that means you can't afford it.
Exactly.
So therefore, no. ATM cards, fine. No interest on them. Whether you have the money or not, that's fine. But get away from interest. No more credit cards. I think they should make them illegal.
I
and
agree
get rid of
with
them.
you 1000%. I do. Now, you think by this time when this home situation will be like we're talking, that we feel the same. I feel like it's next year, like around.
Yeah, there's no doubt, because the protections for people who can't pay their mortgage, to keep them from getting kicked out from foreclosing, ends in March.
So there is a reason like this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. By the end of the first quarter, you're going to see a lot of people who can't afford to pay continue to pay, or can't pay the back pay or whatever. You're going to see a lot of people just fold. You know what I mean? People who can't pay rent right now, you can't kick them out because they're protected. But once these protections are lifted from renters or homeowners,
but Pimpy,
what's going to happen?
What if the golden standard will be announced and there is a jubilee? So those people are okay in those homes.
Yeah, well, then you own your home. Then there won't be no housing market like we think. There won't be no housing boom. There won't be no, I don't know what you want to call it. Because people will be able to keep their houses. There will be no debt. They'll be able to keep them, which would be awesome, and I think should be done. Then you're not going to see the type of housing boom you think. But having said that, there's going to have to be a change in the way we do the housing. So you might not see the drop in value of homes if all the debt is just forgiven. You see what I mean? Because there's no reason to lower the value, because it won't be on bank books and people won't have to worry about affording to keep them. They'll be able to keep them at the value that they are. But maybe what might happen is something like this. They do a debt jubilee, but didn't tell them, we're going to revalue homes. You own them now, but now we're going to revalue them. So your home, all homes across the board are going to be reduced in value by 25% or 30%. So they might do it that way. So people can't get mad if somebody just paid off all your mortgage and it says, okay, now that we did that for you, you must accept that the values need to be reduced. I don't have a problem with that. How? If they want to pay my house off 100%.
I cannot wait to have my own home. I cannot.
Yeah.
It's
soon.
Yeah, it's my dream. One more question. This is it. No more questions. Pimpy, a while ago you mentioned, and I was so intrigued by this. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like this mystical things. You mentioned something about some special coins, that you have some special coins that hold a certain energy. Like they are very powerful coins.
They're called the Keys of Solomon. King Solomon.
I want to know what is this, because I felt like right away, oh my God, I want to know about those coins. What are they? What is it? How I find it, where I get it? What does it do? What does it do?
So the signs of Solomon are what they're really called. And so there was these silver coins that were made that have these sigils. We're starting to get in the area of magic. So here's the thing: when it comes to magic, people always go, "Ooh, it's evil." It's bad. No. It's not. So magic is neutral. The people make it good or bad. King Solomon was and the funny thing is the Bible is riddled with people who've done magic. I mean, King Solomon was the most powerful magician ever, even stronger than Jesus. You know what I mean? Jesus was a magician. The Bible talks about magic and people don't catch it. So King Solomon had the ability to conjure up angels, demons, make them work for him, do whatever he wanted to do. So when he was praying for wisdom, he got real wisdom. So people don't want to talk about that. They alter the stories and change them. So King Solomon knew how to put together these sigils. They're like a commands. So how it works is this. So a lot of times the subconscious mind does not work with words. It works with symbols. That's why you see a lot of symbology and all these things. When people go, oh, the Illuminati and all, yeah, okay, because they already know the truth. They know the symbology is big.
Yes.
So King Solomon had these coins, and each one of these coins could do special things. But you have to be able to charge the coins. You have to know what you're doing. So the scary part is some of these coins do some things that are really, really scary. One of the coins that I have, if it's charged up, it reveals the true nature of a person. So if it's a demon or if it's an angel and they see it, they have to announce who they are in front of me. They have to show me their true self.
Did you ever use it in real life situation?
No, I actually haven't. I have one that's about this big that I'm thinking about, but in order to charge it, you have to know how to charge it right. So this is the thing about people just dabbling in magic. You can't just dabble in magic. If you don't have the proper mentor, it can be very, very dangerous, because in some of these cases, you can conjure up demons I know people are going, what the hell is it? No, it's true.
No, I agree with you. I totally
No, you can charge up. If you charge it and you pull out something you're not prepared for and you don't know how to combat it, you can unleash something that's very dangerous to you. So, again.
How did you find it? Where did you find it? How did the...
Well, the funny thing is, I heard about these coins a long time ago, but never really knew how to go about finding them. But there's ways you can find them. And it just so happens the guy in a store where I live had them on display one time. When I was walking by, I knew immediately. And I walked by and I was looking at him. He started laughing. He goes, do you know what those are? I go, yes. Where did you get these? He started laughing. He goes, I have a lot of them. I go, do you know how to charge them? He goes, no, I know how to do them. And I was like, that's funny. So he goes, I'm looking at the coins. He goes, he just laid it on the counter. I didn't have to tell him. He goes, this is the one you want. And I go, yes, I do want this one. And so, yeah, so I have several of them.
How much? How much?
I think I only charged $50 for that coin.
Oh my God, can I get them? Can you help me to get them? Like at least one?
If you want the same one, that one, I'll ask him how many more he has and get one free. I don't have a problem with that. But, again, he knows how to charge it, but you have to be very careful about that kind of stuff. But yeah, of course, that's something that I want. Who doesn't want to know who you're talking to or who you're dealing with? But to me, I always used to joke around. I said I was going to charge it, wear it as a necklace, and go through Hollywood, because I used to do a Hollywood party crashing. Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to walk around like this talking to people to see, go ahead, show me your true colors. They have to reveal themselves. They're compelled to reveal themselves. So yeah, I have a lot of them. I'll take a picture so you guys can see them. I have all kinds of
things. And this actually came to me because when was it? On Monday, I was talking to Charlie Ward, right? Mm-hmm. And I started with Vatican because one of the interviews, this gentleman, Gene Decode, he was decoding about 777 sacred books, sacred knowledge, that is the books of maps and keys. And this is the hidden truth that was stored underneath the Vatican.
Oh yeah, I know about those. I knew about them since the 90s.
Right, but what I'm saying that 66 books people knew, 711 people didn't. And I am just thinking now when you are talking...
No, there's one book that humans are forbidden from reading.
Tell me.
They hold. No, Leo Zagami. I did a video showing even Leo Zagami. He's one of the first people to come out to say, look, the Illuminati is real. I am from the Illuminati. His name's Leo Zagami. But he wanted the people to know the truth because there are too many rumors about it. He said, so you got to understand that the Illuminati, there's different factions. There's different groups. Not everybody's bad. And not every group is the same. So one group, they're historians. The other group, they're into magic. So they collect relics that have magical power. So other groups
like
do
the
this.
Coins. Pimpy.
Yeah, like the coins. And then he was saying, so he goes, when the guy said, is the New World Order the Illuminati? He goes, no. And that's where he said this. He goes, see, you got to understand, the New World Order is not the Illuminati. The New World Order is an agenda of the Illuminati. So people confuse Illuminati and New World Order. He said there's a group of factions that are evil within the Illuminati that are pushing the New World Order.
Yes.
When the New World Order started, it had great intentions. They wanted this one world peace, live in harmony. And then when these bad people got their hands on this agenda, they wanted it for nefarious reasons. So he was trying to make sure that people understand that not all of them are bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was explaining how the Masons are involved and how they go through all these different degrees. But once you get to 33 degrees, there's more degrees in that. But it's at that point, you have to choose in which direction you're going. And so what happens is you get to this level, it's called ipsimus. So it's like where you know the truth and you know magic, and people get to this point where they start wanting to create their own religions. You know what I mean? Like Scientology, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses. These are people that experience ipsimus, and they get there and they want to create their own religion because they think they're at that level of God, because you get knowledge of your co-creating powers is what it is. So it's very strong. But he was saying that the Vatican knows the truth about all this. They have all the knowledge hidden in there. But he said he also have a book. They do, and the royal family has a copy of the same book. So it's forbidden for humans to read. It's there for a specific time in our history when it's going to be used. And that is when humans, see, people think the second coming of Christ is Christ reborn. That's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The second coming of Christ is us moving into the Christ conscious.
100%.
So when we get there, then we will understand the power of the book. But for now, it's dangerous. So once we get there, then the book is ours, because our origins, the truth, everything we need to know are in these books. So there is a group of people, they're called the Brotherhood of the Tap. They never age. They stay around 30 years old. They've been around for tens of thousands of years, because even Jesus said you don't have to age. You know, there's a way to avoid it. And he was trying to teach people, but there's this Brotherhood of the Tap, and they're responsible for monitoring everything and keeping records of all of our true origins.
Where do they live? Which part of the?
Nobody knows exactly, but there's a lot of talk, obviously. Iraq is where part of them are.
Wow.
And the other part of them is in India. So nobody knows for sure. If you knew who they were, there's a good chance that people would attack them because of who they are. You understand?
I am so fascinated by this.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, I've since the 90s, I used to read and study and talk to a lot of people about it. But you have to take everything with a grain of salt, just because you just don't know who you're talking to. And that's why I'm saying, look, in everything that we talk about, when you start going down these particular rabbit holes, you know, there's people who they tend to exaggerate, or they tend to pervert the truth for a reason. You know, but the truth is out there. And I think we're getting
itself is not bad, is how you use it, really, right? Is the knowledge is, this is actually a gift to humans, but if it's in the right hand.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen people use magic the proper way and manifest stuff that they really want. You know what I mean? I got stuck on something negative one time, and my friend's like, dude, I can see the energy. Stop focus on it, because you're going to make it happen. And what ended up happening, I dwelled on it so much that it actually happened. And so I started to realize there's something to what they're talking about when it comes to the manifestation and the power of the conscious and subconscious mind, is because I wouldn't let it go. I just kept thinking about it in one particular way.
Yes.
And it actually happened. And so, I was like, I was mad because I couldn't stop myself from thinking negative about this situation that I didn't want to happen, and I forced it to happen. I'll give you a small example of that. So you're driving down the road and you know you shouldn't be driving. You have a suspended license, or maybe you've been drinking a little bit or whatever. And then you see a cop in your mirror. And then what do? Don't pull me over, don't pull me. You start focusing on the cop pulling you over so much that the cop ends up pulling you over. Now here's the funny thing. The next time you're in that situation and you could control yourself a little more, just ignore the cop and the cop will go away. But you can force that type of negativity in the air and manifest it into happening. I did it for shits and giggles one time. I was like, I'm just going to do it to see if I can. When I didn't have no suspension, I just wanted to see if it would pull me over for some reason. And then so I was thinking about it, and he said, hey, I got pulled over. And I was laughing. He goes, I need you to clean off your license plate. And I was like, that's it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I was laughing. I go, so you can do it if you focus on it wrong. So there's other ways to do it for those types of teachings will come out. We are co-creators.
Yeah.
We have the ability, and the church has been hiding at our abilities for centuries.
You know, Pimpy, I love talking to you because this is literally, it's so simple. It's like we often forget and we do it by default because whatever, and I know I repeat this, but truly I feel it, I know it, that whatever you focus on, you invite to your experience. You invite this to you.
Good or bad.
Yes, and that's one thing, but there is another teaching which is Yeshua talks about this a lot, which I agree, that everything we focus on, we give attention to, we are sending, our attention equals love. So when we focus on something, we are sending love to it. Like you're sending love to silver.
Yeah. No, it's funny because a scientist did this study where they took water and froze it.
Yes.
And one of them, they yelled, put it down, they put it in there.
Yeah.
Another one, they gave love and they froze it. When it came out and they looked at the crystals, well, the one that was got love, they're beautiful designs.
Mikimoto, the Japanese doctor, yes.
Yeah. And then the other one, it's chaotic and, it looks so, but that just shows you the power of the words. People don't understand that language is, every time you speak, you're creating a spell. The way languages by the old people decided that they knew that the way we say our words is you're weaving magic. So they created languages to help keep the veil, to keep us from the truth. And so, in studying that, this one person said, yeah, it's real simple. If you want to see what's behind the veil, you just need people to shut up for one day and watch what happens. Because every day we talk all different languages, we're designed in a way to keep this magic, keep us imprisoned in the veil. So being silent, that's why you see the monks do this, sit in silence.
And one more thing, and we end this, but I cannot stop talking to you. I just love talking to you.
No problem.
You know what it is? Look, and I know you know this, we agree. Look, when this whole agenda, I would say, was created to use the celebrities and the icons to pull attention from people. Now, what happens is people are presented with someone in a certain light, that person is presented, and then the energy of the masses, by the focus, the energy of the masses goes to those celebrities, movie stars, etc., and they are fed, literally fed energy from people. Because
you ever heard of predictive programming?
Yes.
The Simpsons, they've managed. People go, oh, they predicted like 24 things that have actually happened, including the suicide of Robin Williams. No, it's not a matter of predicting. Obviously, the people who designed and created the program know about predictive programming, and so there's millions of people who watch, whether it's The Simpsons or whether it's Family Guy. I think it's Family Guy that's done all the predictions, Family Guy. And so, or is it The Simpsons? I think it's Simpsons. Either one of them. Whoever the designers are, they are clearly aware of magic, and they've used them. And I gave the examples of the people focusing on a game that came out called Halo. It was one of the most addicting video games that people could play. And the game is based on this story about these 12 rings that are floating around in space, and there's habitants on there. And then science, 20 years later, after the game, they're saying, hey, this is weird. We see 12 rings in space. And I'm going, yeah, because the people are so into the video game.
Wow.
I would play that game for so long that I would lose track of reality. My life was in the game.
It's different dimension. It's completely different.
Well, my environment from the video game was, I was living in that environment. So when you're playing the game, I'm so locked into it that you don't realize that you've left this reality and you're now in that reality. And because of that, you were using your co-creators, and a lot of us created the rings, you know what I mean? Whether people believe it or not, the point is we're co-creators, and there's people out there that know about this power, and they abuse it, and they know how to drain us of our power.
And on the political scale and on the media, all of this is actually part of that.
Yes, all of it.
Pimpy the man. Thank you so much. You are such a wonderful person. I'm so grateful that I even came across you in my life, seriously.
Thank
I'm
you. I
so
appreciate all the
grateful.
kind words.
And
Always love
all your
talking to you.
knowledge. And I cannot wait when you will have this video and you say, okay, guys, this is happening. This is
I know
happening.
people are like, how are we gonna know when? And they go, you're gonna be too busy trying to go, cash yours in. I'm like, no, I will make a video. You're gonna know about it because I'll tell people what to do, where to go, how to do it. So this way everybody can get what they deserve.
But something will happen this month, right? We feel it.
October, yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm excited but nervous at the same time. I'm curious to see. We're going to know a lot more. Let's put it that way, one way or the other. But I think as far as us going into the gold standard or a revaluation of gold and silver is inevitable. There's no avoiding it. We're beyond now the where there is an option. It's too late now, so it's going to happen. There's a lot of people within the next 18 months. People are like, yeah, it has to happen. To me, I think it's way quicker than 18 months. But there's the other part of me going, well, 18 months, good. That means I can just continue to add more to my stack. That's what I'm thinking. But I know there's people out there going, no, I can't afford it. But yeah, we'll see.
Thank you so much. You gave me so much time today. I really appreciate. And thank you for answering all my questions without even being asked.
Thank you so much. And you have a great day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.